Hey, hey, hey! Welcome everybody! Woo-hoo. You're watching Big E on Big E TV.
Well, I don't hate my parents.
Okay.
I don't get drunk just to spite them.
Let me just take a moment here.
I got my own reasons to drink now. I think I'll call my dad up.
The pursuit of happiness. We got a few candles, so hopefully you'll find that I find candles to be very soothing, and as long as they don't burn down the house. Burning down the house. Oh boy, I love this job. The pursuit of happiness. A lot of people tell me that I seem like a happy guy, so I take that as a vote of confidence. Thank you very much. As I dove a little deeper into happiness, I researched it and I found that we can look at happiness in one of three ways. The first way is in philosophical terms, the second way is in psychological terms, and the third one is in Jay-Z terms. After much bragging about an artificially inflated U.S. economy, Jay-Z said this on CNN: "A decrease of black unemployment under Trump's presidency doesn't make him a good leader because, quote, money doesn't equate to happiness." Happiness, the pursuit of happiness. Where have I heard that before? So in philosophy, happiness is translated from the Greek concept of eudaimonia and refers to the good life or flourishing as opposed to an emotion. So what is eudaimonia, you may ask? Well, the literal translation, eu meaning good, so eudaimonia, good spirit, eudaimonia, good spirit, maybe the act of good spiriting, that kind of thing. So in our Aristotle's words, eudaimonia was used as a term for highest human good. Its aim of practical philosophy, including ethics and political philosophy. So interesting, ethics and politics was so closely linked with happiness and eudaimonia. Guys like Aristotle and Stoics, you remember Stoics, right? Aristotle take virtue and its exercise to be the most important constituent in eudaimonia, but also acknowledges the importance of external goods, which is interesting, they consider health an external good. By contrast, the Stoics made virtue necessary and sufficient for eudaimonia. And you didn't have to have any external. Stoics is actually from Stoicism. It's not actually a philosopher. It's a school of Hellenistic philosophy. So, what is Hellenistic philosophy, you might ask? No, it's too much. Stoicism is predominantly a philosophy of personal ethics, which is informed by its system of logic and views on the natural world. According to its teachings, as social beings, the path to happiness for humans is found in accepting this moment as it presents itself, by not allowing ourselves to be controlled by our desire for pleasure or our fear of pain, by using our minds to understand the world around us and to do our part in nature's plan, and by working together, treating others in a fair and just manner. In other words, true happiness was defined around the turn of the century, like the first century. Now, what do you think? That could apply today? Yeah, I know, that's interesting stuff, isn't it? In psychological terms, happiness can be looked at as a mental or emotional state of well-being, which can be defined by positive or pleasant emotions ranging from contentment to intense joy. Wow, intense joy, I like the sound of that. So wellness or well-being refers to diverse and interconnected dimensions of physical, mental, and social well-being that extend beyond the traditional definition of health. It includes choices and activities aimed at achieving physical vitality, mental alertness, social satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment, and personal fulfillment. What makes me happy? What makes you happy?
my friends, the time is close.
It's it's this, right? Remember Curly?
You ever been married?
I was out with my son playing a little bit of rugby in the back there, and the sun came on after a horrible rainy day, and he was like focusing on the word pursuit, you know, the pursuit of happiness. I guess that infers that it's always dynamic. It's never a static being, right? The pursuit of happiness is something that maybe you never achieve. It's like Nike said, there is no finish line, you know? So it's constantly a state of just, you know, trying to make ourselves feel good. And how do we do that? So it'd be pretty ridiculous for me to sit here and tell you, you know, how to be happy or how to pursue happiness.
You ever been in love?
Once.
Billy Crystal and Curly. Remember Curly?
I was driving a herd across the Panhandle, Texas.
Closest he ever had to love was he saw this beautiful woman once, and it was enough for him. And
She was wearing a little cotton dress, and the setting sun was right behind her.
these guys come from the city. They go out there. They're trying to find the meaning of life. You know, their late 30s, early 40s.
What happened?
I just turned around and rode away.
Why?
I figured it wasn't going to get any better than that.
And I know women go through it too, you know, but they're just looking for that one thing, and that one thing is what's going to make them happy.
I'm 14 and my mother and father are fighting again. You know, because she caught him again. And I finally realized he wasn't just cheating on my mother, he was cheating on us. So I told him. I said, you're bad to us. We don't love you. I'll take care of my mother and my sister. We don't need you anymore. And he made like he was gonna hit me, but I didn't budge. Then he turned around and he left. Never bothered us again. But I took care of my mother and my sister from that day on. That's my best day.
What was your worst day?
Same day.
Here, so think about that one thing. So for me, you know, my Curly moment, it's honestly, it's like right here, right now. I just love the fact that I've been getting like sometimes 13, sometimes 14,000 post reaches on my Facebook page in a week. That's you know, those are influential numbers. This is making me extremely happy. Let's do something that's meaningful in my life that makes me feel like I'm giving back, that I'm contributing, that I've got some experience and I want to share it. And I need to know in order to get to where I want to go. I need to know from other people about life and learning and loving and listening and really trying to become better every day. You know, it's not a cliche for me. It's not a cliche for my friends, the people that I'm around. I know they have that attitude. Last week I did a story on what were the top reasons that you die and the pursuit of happiness. You probably shouldn't be talking about that. But the top 1 and 2 were both around like being social and having loved ones around you. And it was just like I said with the addictions earlier about like we need to have a better social fiber in our communities. And you know, this is what we need. And like, let's be leaders of one. You'll be a leader of many. And if you can't lead one, you know, if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead any. The ones that have been closest to me for the longest period of time is really important. So to me, you know, duration, you know, how long you've known someone for, how many years long you've maintained a friendship for, that's really important. Wow, I'm seeing lots of love hearts. Hey, what makes you happy? You know, what makes me happy? Oh, well, you ask? Okay. Well, yeah, just, like, so it's two things. One is, to me, it's not a difference between good friends and family. They're one and the same, you know. But it's the people that you are around on a regular basis every day. Those are the ones that matter the most, okay? So if you want to be happy, it's not rocket science. Be around people that you care about, that you love, that you have someone to interact with, to share the joys with. Life is tough. Life is really tough. You want someone there for the good times and the bad times, okay? But you don't want to be a ball and chain. You want them to be an inspiration in your life. So fill your life with people that are inspirational and fire. You're fired. Those other ones. Dog Poachy. In fact, big shout out to Poachy. He's going to be a big 2-0.
Oh, careful, buddy.
He's been with me the whole time. I've always worked at home, almost always. He's always been with me. 20 years is a long time.
You can do that. You can do this. You can do this, buddy. Come on, Poachy. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. 20 years old. Next week, you're going to be 20 years old, and you can still navigate this challenging course because you have purpose in your life.
When I go out with him, I appreciate every day. I just love being with him. I take care of him. I clean up on him regularly.
Yeah, you're doing it, buddy. Come on, one more. 2 more. Oh, good boy, Pachi.
He's still really agile, and I push him every day. And he's almost blind, and he never has a leash, and he never has a collar. And he bumps his way, and he goes, and he's got really good smell, and he's got a really good taste, so he gets good food every day.
Come on, one more. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, Pachi.
And he's living his life. You know, he's older in his life, but I haven't put him under because he's been inconvenient for me.
You can do it. There you go. All right.
I love my dog, and I also love Moko, and you too. I love you both equally, boys. Good boy. Okay, I like waking up every morning knowing there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to get into some great conversations with people, you know. Sometimes they're friends, and often they're just strangers.
Wild romance, we're going to party, caramba, fiesta, forever.
Everywhere I go, I like to engage, I like to talk to people, and so every day I wake up, there's a good chance that that's going to happen, and that makes me feel good. I'm riding my recumbent bike right now, working out, giving the report out today. You know, my body is great. I mean, I'm playing against pro basketball guys. A lot of university players, I can beat them in my bare feet, if you can believe that, and I'm not young anymore. So I love that. It feels great. Bucks of studs, basketball guys, and we ended up running the table. We won we won out the entire night. Had such a great time. So many young guys, you know, they're full of piss and vinegar, and they're out there competing hard, and they really want to win. And as I got older, something happened to me. I really became I fell in love with the sport and just the love of the game, and part of that love was I loved my competitors so much. So they got to the point where, like, you know, now and for some time now, even if someone else scores or wins, I'm so happy for them. We had an honest battle, they won, and good for you, you know. And some people have a hard time with that. And it's no different in the workforce, you know. If you're on commission and you're some of my closest friends would fight me tooth and nail over these big, contracts worth potentially over $1 million or, $50,000 in commissions or something. And we would fight over those. But at the end of the day, like, if I didn't get it, knowing that someone else worked hard and they were rewarded for that, you know. So it's really a mindset of once you start doing that, I'm telling you, I have no pressure when I play ball anymore. And as a result, I hit a lot, but we were dominant all night long. All night long. That makes me pretty happy. The other night I was at Whistler up there with the Greg Sanderson.
The love guru. He's learned a few things over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to share them with you tonight, okay?
I'm a really happy person, and a big part of happiness is having so many good friends. I'm seeing so many likes and loves and hearts come up there. Thank you guys. And we went off, and we had a great time. And I have we were responsible. Too many maybe, but maybe paid for it the next day a little bit. But you know what? The physiological suffering that my body went through that day and that trip was paled in comparison to the spiritual upliftingness, if that's a word, we experienced. That I felt so good up there. It was so awesome. And every once in a while, you know what? It feels great to go off. And moderation is the key to life, of course. Celebratory, once in a while kind of thing, and enjoy it for what it is, and don't make it a daily habit in your life, because sometimes happiness can be quickly eroded. Sex makes me very happy. Can I say that here? Appreciating intimate moments in my life, so a lot of people equate sex with intimacy, but for me, it's so much more than that. Your spirit touched, and these things that happen in life, they happen in things that a lot of times we're so unaware of what's around us, and some of the beautiful things that happen. I love Vancouver. I love the summer. I love to be able to walk everywhere, and especially your downtown, the beaches. And it is a great vibe, and anyone that's been around that kind of culture, I think you know what I'm talking about. So that makes me happy. Appreciating all the funny interactions and shit that goes on in daily life. That's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm amazed. It's like that Seinfeld.
Don't you know the difference between salsa and salsa? You have the salsa after the salsa.
This should be the show. This is the show.
What?
Yes. Just talk.
Where he was saying it doesn't matter. Like, you can just do your own life. It's a comedy routine.
I think I can sum up the show for you with one word. Nothing.
I see so many funny things that happen, especially because people are so awkward now interacting.
What did you do today? I got up and came to work. There's a show. That's a show.
Traveling to different places around the world, having new experiences, meeting new people from different cultures. Absolutely, that makes me happy. I mean, you can't always travel to every place in the world. That's one of the reasons I'm friendly with anybody, because I just love a place like Vancouver. They got people from all over the world, and you can interact with them. My Facebook friends here. Of course, you know, traveling, when you're on your deathbed, you're looking back, you're sitting there, what is it that you're going to be remembering? Well, you know, if you had the same job your entire life, and you had nothing wrong with having your same partner your whole life, but I'm just saying is that all your memories tend to get like lumped into one. Whereas if you had, you know, a number of different places you worked and meaningful relationships in your life and places that you lived, to me, you know, like that's ultimately going to be a good measuring stick in terms of quality of life and how happy I was and how happy I will be at that time looking back. Music makes me happy. Music makes me really happy. Doesn't matter if I'm outdoor, it's at those festivals like Pemberton, if I'm singing in my car like I did that promo video. Meaty topic of the day on the pursuit of happiness. Do you dancing at home, you know, like with Tom Cruise. Who remembers that and him and his tighty whities? Dun, 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 dun.
Just take those old records off the shelf.
And a shout out to Dee Pretty and Sue Scott for that one, the tighty whities. What doesn't make me happy? Well, certainly being around negative people are a real downer for me. You know, buying stuff, material goods, being around apathetic people, so not only are people like negative, but other people that just are just like, kind of a downer. When my body is in physical pain, that's not good, right? Or my heart is hurting, or I'm feeling depressed. But fortunately, that doesn't happen very often. I think that's the key to happiness. If you could be happy more, what's going to happen is you will have less time to be sad or depressed. Of course, money stresses. You know, this is I've been living in one of the most expensive markets in the world here 30 years now, but it's been no regrets. It's awesome. I don't have a lot to show for it, but I have experience and I've had a rich, full life. There's really no price that you can pay for that. If you want to make any changes in your life, reduce the bad elements in your life and increase the good elements. So find out what's good in your life, what you enjoy doing, what you love. That's the way to increase your happiness. And like I mentioned before, like some of those things that you may find, like it's negative people or a job you're just not happy at, or a relationship you're just not happy in, whatever it is that's making you not happy, put a plan together, figure it out, execute. It's that simple. What's that one thing that makes you happy? Okay, this goes back to city slickers.
You city folk, you worry about a lot of shit, don't you?
And so it's a really interesting interaction between kind of a cowboy, small town, simple life culture.
You all come up here about the same age, same problems. Spend about 50 weeks a year getting knots in your rope, and then you think 2 weeks up here will time for you.
And a big city, fast-paced, lots of static and distractions kind of pace, and coming together.
Do you know what the secret of life is?
No, what?
This.
Your finger?
Don't know or you can't easily answer what is that one thing? Then it's time to start looking inward, bro.
One thing. Just one thing.
Find your one thing, and I bet everything else in your life will make sense.
You stick to that and everything else don't mean shit.
It's like it falls into place. It becomes clearer again.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
Ultimately, happiness is what you make of it.
That's what you gotta figure out.
We all deal with difficult circumstances. You know, some have more meaty problems than others. Certain points in our life, we all are faced with some crossroads or some serious issues that arise. So it's really about how you manage, you know, those difficulties at those key points in your life. And finally, happiness is a mindset. It's a state of mind. It's a day in and day out. Either you choose to be happy or you choose not to be happy. Because in the short term, anyone can say, well, I'm not happy because of this and this and this. But ultimately, if you continue to live unhappy with this, and this, then you're not going to be happy, and it's your own fault, okay? Choose to be happy. Identify what does not make you happy. Get that out of your life, and guess what? You're going to be happy. You will choose to be happy. Having a positive attitude towards life is a fundamental tenet of being happy. If you portray a negative attitude, what happens, you know? Good things appear bad. Good people turn nasty. You tend to focus on the bad things in life, not the good things. So have a positive approach to life. Be social, engaged with people, exercise, eat well, and you'll be amazed at how fast that unhappy life can turn into a happy one. Okay. This is Big E from Big E TV on the Pursuit to Happiness. Telling everybody, whoo, namaste. Springtime, the days are getting longer, the weather's getting warmer, the sun is out. Oh my goodness, the sun is out.